fast. Patience in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Score a trip for 4 to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at SanAntonioSportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cowboys tight end Luke Schoonmaker has a hamstring injury that's expected to sideline him throughout all of OTAs. In the NBA, the Spurs and Lakers keep coming up as potential suitors for point guard Chris Paul if he were to hit free agency this offseason. This according to Mark Stein. And Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals saw the Celtics take a 2-0 lead. Can the Mavs do the same? It comes up after extra innings.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 FM, if you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're one of the many that join on YouTube. First of all, thank you, everyone, for getting in there. Paul A., Fred Villarreal, Fred Records, Fred Valdez. So close, but even our winner for the ACL Fest tickets. And, of course, if you didn't win, you can always get them at aclfest.com. Miguel Martinez already in the chat. Hunter Hitch. I appreciate it. Bye for joining me tonight. Make sure to go to San Antonio Sports Star, SA Sports Star YouTube page. Go ahead, like, subscribe. And like everybody else in the bullpen, you can comment along. Or if you feel like you want to be the old-fashioned way about it, just call in 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I always love getting to talk with guys. Lots to get into. Game 2 between the Celtics and Pacers. The Halliburton injury definitely hurt them. It's going to be interesting to kind of see exactly how injured and hurt he is as this series continues, because that is a very, very big cog. But for the most part, Boston was already starting to pull away at that point in the third quarter. And while he has the ability to help get them back into it, Boston's the better team. I love Indiana. I love what they're doing. I like how they've constructed that team. Boston is just the better team. And some may think they're overrated. Some are waiting for the shoe to drop. But for me, personally, I think it's one of the best teams left on both sides of the ball. They've got two legit stars, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They've got some great pieces surrounding them. The Drew Holiday acquisition, the Derek White acquisition that they had, the ability to go get Kristaps Porzingis to give them that big that can also defend, that also stretches and spaces the floor for them. I know what the narrative surrounding this team is, and especially but it's a good team. And every team has hiccups until they don't along the way. A lot of teams failed many times trying to get over that hill. We just continue to forget about it. Like Michael Jordan. He failed a lot before he finally made it to the finals, broke through, won, and then just never stopped winning. Frank Mateo says, I love the shirt on the chat. That's right. If you're watching via our YouTube channel, new ice line released today. Jeff Garcia sent me this from Locked On Spurs, and he will be joining me coming up here shortly. Gilberto Padilla says that he wants CP3 in San Antonio. It's a good question, and we'll see what Jeff has to say about those rumors and some of the other rumors of trade pieces, like we heard Darius Garland's name, we have heard Donovan Mitchell's name, we have heard Trae Young's name, and we have heard DeJounte Murray's name. Which one fits best? And how do you build around Wemby this off season as we get ready to head into it? Because this is going to be just the beginning of the rumors and who they could potentially be attached to, whether it is someone opening up like a Chris Paul or other players. So it's going to be very, very interesting this off season for the Spurs. We'll get into it with Jeff Garcia coming up here in about 10 minutes. But I look at the Celtics. Yes, they've fallen short a lot. But when they break through, there are steps, and Pop famously loves to say you don't skip steps. Well, learning to come back from adversity is one of those steps, and that you don't go from a no-win team to a championship level team. There are steps along the way that you take. There are failures that you make and learn from. You know? And so I love the fact that we have become such a microwave society in terms of instant reaction, which all of us do. I do that make a living doing that. But at the same time, that first initial thought of you is something we hold on to for a long time, and it becomes very, very difficult to change someone's perception of who they are at first glance. I mean, Brock Purdy was picked 247. He was Mr. Irrelevant, and that's how people love to think of Brock Purdy. He's Mr. Irrelevant. When will he shake it? I don't know. I think he's a really good quarterback now, and he's in a great situation with a lot of weapons. That helps quarterbacks. That helps all quarterbacks. But at the same time, Trey Lance couldn't do it with all those weapons. Jimmy Garoppolo failed multiple times with all those weapons. And CJ Bet, it's not like you can pluck anyone into Shanahan's system and they're instantly going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. No, he leads the league in yards per attempt, even though Micah Parsons thinks that he just throws bubble screens all day long. Yes, we get a narrative and we hold on to it until you have definitively proven otherwise against our initial first thought. And that goes for a lot of things in life. And so it is very, very difficult. We had a perception of Kyrie Irving since the flat earth and where he's gone and how teams have blown up and fallen apart. And we held on to that perception with him going to Dallas. He is fitting in perfectly in Dallas, and the Mavs have a real shot right now to go up 2-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves, because let's face it, if Anthony Edwards was tired in game one, what's one night of rest when you had more going into the game one? What's one day of rest in between games? You magically not going to be tired this time? A lot of these guys haven't played this late into the season. Kyrie has. Championship games, conference final games. So there is that experience on that side of the ball for him. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about what's going on with the Spurs coming up and how we are best going to build, like Gilberto Petilla saying CP3, bring up a young point guard like Castle, who they have been linked to, according to Bleacher Report, and allows him to learn as he develops. And you're not wrong about that. It could very well be that. It could very well not. But we'll get the latest, including the latest news on this dope shirt that I'm wearing of the Iceman sitting on his, throne, if you will, that ice throne from the magazine. All of that coming up with Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs and Kens 5 digital reporter. He's joining me next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
These guys around the country made a fan page for us. So, Rico Suave, what is it that stimulated you about our program?
It's a love of the show, man.
What would you like to see us do more of since you're a P1 listener?
Girls on trampolines during the break. They're pre-K.
Man. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say.
Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace.
If you've put off replacing windows because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door.
Just text BUY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year.
That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month.
Text BUY to 200-300 right now. Text the word BUY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text BUY to 200-300.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledge right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all for joining me this evening as we take you up to 7 o'clock as we get you ready for tonight's game. That is right, Game 2 of the West Finals right here on San Antonio Sports Star between the Dallas Mavericks and Minnesota Timberwolves. But, and a lot of y'all have gone very, very ham in the comments, and I can't wait to get to all of these comments and kind of break them down one by one. But we're talking Spurs off season and the best way to go about it. So I thought I'd bring in one of our Spurs insiders, and that is Jeff Garcia, Kens 5 digital Spurs reporter and the host of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Great content. Jeff, appreciate the time, but first and foremost, I want to thank you for the shirt that I'm wearing on the stream today.
Sir.
This new George Gervin sitting on his ice throne Nike shirt. The silhouette's dope.
Yeah. Y'all don't know the Spurs launched a new Iceman collection gear line, and from what you're seeing on your stream right now, everybody got that shirt. You got basically Pledger. If you ever want to look, literally dress like Gervin did when he was sitting in the ice throne, you can now. I'm not kidding. Like, you can put on that tracksuit. They redid and modernized that tracksuit that you see in that old school poster back in the day, and now you can wear the traditional ice look to sit on your ice throne. So it just came out today. You want to check it out? It's at kenside.com/Spurs. I sent one to Pledger this morning. I said, you know what? I'm gonna send one to my buddy. I'm gonna send one to him, and he got it. He loved it.
I loved it so much he knew what he was wearing today because this shirt was coming in, so he dressed appropriately so he could throw it on when he got to work. Oh man!
Well, I'm glad you like it, buddy.
Yeah, Jeff's got a whole article on it on the Kens website. Just follow him on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone, and you can check out all the new ice gear. And it's a great article. And I wanted to say thank you very much for thinking of me and sending me this dope shirt.
Anytime, buddy.
Now, the real reason I wanted to bring you on was, as we have talked about multiple times on Locked On Spurs, which you can also catch on YouTube. See both me and Jeff there. Jeff with his wall of anime posters that I just freaking love behind him at his desk. But we've talked multiple different times about the possible construction of how this team will look, because this is a huge deal on how the Spurs will build out this roster going into next year, or whether they're going to try and run it back and just bring in some more rookies with their draft picks. And slowly but surely, every single day, more and more rumors persist about big name players, whether in their prime, past their prime, or entering their prime. And I thought, man, Jeff, got to get him on to get his thoughts on breaking a lot of these down. The latest one today, which I have in my Sports Center, is that of Mark Stein, as a noted NBA insider for many, many years, says the Spurs and Lakers keep coming up as potential suitors for point guard Chris Paul if he hits free agency this offseason. He has a $30 million salary that becomes fully guaranteed on June 28th, and the Warriors are still reportedly weighing what to do with Chris Paul. How much stock do you put into the fact that the Spurs are popping up as a potential suitor for one Chris Paul?
I put a good amount of stock in it. I would not be surprised if that's the guy or the mold, the point guard they want to bring in at that starting point guard spot. I mean, you look at Chris Paul. I'm pretty sure you'll bring up Mitchell and stuff, or maybe Darius Garland later on in our chat. But they all check the boxes, don't they? I mean, look at Chris Paul. The Spurs, what were we crying about last year? Oh, they need a veteran point guard that's floor general. Oh, look, they lost in double overtime versus the 76ers. If they only had somebody who can guide them. Well, there's Chris Paul, there. So he checks that box. All-star. We need an all-star point guard. How about that? Okay, we don't need just a point guard and a veteran. We need an all-star guy. Check. He checks the boxes, and Pop has been a fan of Chris Paul for quite a while. You talk to Pop about Chris Paul, and he'll just talk your ear off about him. But here's the thing, though. Would he be a rental? If the Spurs were to chase him and offer him the money, which they can, they got a lot of cash. I think everybody knows this. Will he take it? But my fear is that they give him some ridiculous. Remember the Pau Gasol contract?
Oh, absolutely.
Past his prime. That's what I'm worried about with Chris Paul. He checks all the boxes that all Spurs fans were crying about the mold of the point guard they need to pair with Wemby. But will he command the money? And will the Spurs give an aging all-star like Chris Paul that kind of money? I think what's on the table for him, by the way, that money on the table from the Warriors to Paul is supposed to be locked up by June, like next month, I think. So he has about a month-ish to make a decision when he's going to test.
June 28th.
Yeah, so he has a month-ish to either say, all right, go say I'm in, or I'm going to go test free agency waters. But if I wake up in the morning on Tuesday next week and some report comes out the Spurs have signed him, I would not be surprised, though. I would just go to, okay, fine, that's what they need, but how much? That's going to be my first question is, how much did they give him?
Okay, and just conspiracy thinking outside the box, there is a reason that the Warriors probably still haven't made a move, because they're checking for the potential of probably trading him in that contract instead of just outright releasing him to go somewhere. That could be a possibility. And would that change how you feel about him if you knew you were getting a all injury prone aging point guard at a rental? It would be a rental.
Pretty much,
so it's not
it's
$30 million, but it's 1 year.
I would pass if that's the cash and rental. I wouldn't know, because that I'm looking at the ripple effect of that. He does come in for a year, and impact the Spurs. Then we're back to square one again after he leaves. We're back to that. He developed some chemistry with Wemby, for example, or or their cash strapped. But if he does, I think that's what I'm looking at. Just those ripple effects. If he becomes a rental, and to me, if I weigh that out, I'll have to say no, because what if they can make a deal for somebody else like a Donovan Mitchell or a Darius Garland? I'd rather go that route than stick with the CP3 who's already seen the end of his career pop up already.
Hey, you throw the lob, and I will be like Wemby and finish it off. So bringing up the names Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, those are two names that have been bandied about in the last week or so, as well as Darius Garland and Chris Paul or Donovan Mitchell may not absolutely get along, it feels like, and one or both could be moved for a team that has gotten rid of its coach, and a lot of people are reading that as them acquiescing to Donovan Mitchell in an attempt to get him to sign an extension with Cleveland. It's a team that's won, a lot of games and been the 4 seed in each of the last 2 seasons where they've had home court advantage, and this year actually made it into the second round of the playoffs. Which of those would you possibly want more if they happen to become available?
Oh man, if I could get Garland, I think I'll go that route. A little younger than Mitchell. I think he's been playing the shadow of Mitchell. Does that make sense? Like maybe, they defer to him.
Well, played in the shadow of Mitchell, and he's also played in the shadow of Colin Sexton before, before he was traded away.
Right.
So
yeah. So I think, no, I mean, I'm not trying to compare them, but know it kind of feels like where Shea Gilgeous was kind of buried with the Clippers. And then he comes to OKC and becomes Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as we know him and love him today. Not saying that's potential there, but who knows? What if that's just the change of address that Darius Garland needs to maximize his potential? And what better way to do that than with Wemby, as that's Wemby's point guard of the future, the team's point guard of the future right there. So I would go the Darius Garland route if I had to choose between Mitchell or him.
Did you hear that, guys? What I just heard, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's
There you
Five,
go.
right here on Extra Innings, said that Darius Garland can be the Spurs' Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a future MVP of the league, right here on Extra Innings. Thanks for that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let me call Brian right now and tell him this.
2 other potential names that have been brought up with the Spurs this summer. One is an old friend, and the other is had googly eyes all year for Victor Wembanyama, and that is Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. And that is another, because the Hawks are in a very precarious situation in terms of talking about potentially blowing it up, maybe getting rid of both of them. DeJounte Murray saying cap on a potential nixing of a trade to Utah this season. There's a lot of smoke coming out of Atlanta in terms of their availability, where each of them can potentially end up. But on top of that, they're in this precarious situation of, if you're blowing it up, rebuild, etc. But they also just landed the number 1 pick when they should be picking at the very ass end of the lottery. So it is a very fortunate position for Atlanta to be in, having the number 1 pick and being able to basically expedite whatever rebuild they thought they may be going into when blowing this up.
Yeah. You brought it up, them winning the lottery. I wonder if that changes their direction. Because
in terms of keeping them?
Keeping one of them, maybe not blowing it up, or just, hey, who wants Trae? Who wants DeJounte? Maybe they go, okay, well, depending on who we draft, well, if that's the running mate that we need for that person. If it's Sarr, do you? It's kind of win-win with DeJounte and Trae, isn't it? I mean, you got yourself an established point guard. You got all if you go, I mean, you've seen the mocks pleasure, Richard some may go number one.
Yep.
They something of that. Does that change things? Okay, well, Richard can create his own shot and everything. We don't need another mouth to feed, so to speak. So by trade, keeping DeJounte. So I think everything hinges around what direction they want to go with that number one pick. But as far as the links or the reported links to San Antonio, those are kind of cooled off. Literally the last two reports were, Spurs are not interested after all. But I don't know, that could be smoke.
Yeah, the Trae Young thing.
Yeah, that's cooled off a lot, and now you're seeing the pattern. Now is Chris Paul.
Well, I've contended for a long time that I don't know if the Spurs are, they'll do their due diligence if he wants to be here, but for the most part, I thought it was Trae Young trying to angle his way to San Antonio, not San Antonio trying to go heavy after Trae Young.
Yeah. You loved digging into his IG, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He started the first word with S, and that's the last sentence with P. That could be something.
They were silver and black hearts. What do you want from me?
I like everybody listening there. Now I kind of busted James's chops. I was like, oh, you're reaching here. And he goes, I am just reporting what I am seeing.
I am only reporting the facts as they appear in front of me at the moment. That is all. I did not say it was imminent. I just said, this is the facts. Trae Young has a post where he is at his basketball camp wearing silver and black clothes with a silver and black heart captioning his IG post.
Exactly. Yeah. Those texts that James sends me, everybody, are pretty wild. Like his connections. Look, Jeff. He stumped his toe and it's a black and white bruise now.
It's the facts. That's all I'm reporting. I didn't say anything was infinite. I just am and in this business, we have to pay attention to stuff like that now.
I know. Yeah. I totally understand. I get that. And hey, it generates a conversation. It sure does. But I guess it's so interesting what the Spurs can do, because the way the draft lottery landed for them, that was probably one of the, obviously outside of winning it all, but that was probably the best case scenario for them, with 4-8 now. So they have, like we talked about, all the assets they had pre-lottery.
Is that the best scenario for them? Do you expect Toronto to be better next year?
No, I don't. I think they'll probably be about the same or maybe worse.
And if they're worse, that's another chance at a number one pick in a much more stacked draft.
Well, that's my point. You're kind of like, you're guiding me to what I'm trying to get at is, the Spurs can do so much right now. Now, they had so much leading into the lottery, and everybody's like, yay, Spurs, y'all can do a lot of stuff. Okay, here we are post-lottery, like, oh my goodness, Spurs, you really, really can do more stuff. And then now you mentioned 2025. All right, Spurs, let's go get Luka. I mean, that's what it feels like now. You got everything you can to get the top quality, top choice talent now. So now you have 2 first-round picks. Okay, fine, it's in a draft that maybe many think it's not that great, but that's still an asset. I mean, I'm pretty sure Phoenix would love to be in the Spurs situation right now. They don't have any draft picks to win till I croak, until I call it a day.
Think about Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. So, I mean, imagine the Spurs are in a position now to look at a Phoenix or chat with Phoenix or Brooklyn and say, hey, we know you guys are literally, picked out, literally, because you have no picks. We have a bunch of them. Let's talk business.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can look at a roster and see what they want, or Brooklyn's roster, see what they want, and make something happen. But the question now is, will they do it? Because historically, they never made major bold moves, top the presses kind of moves in the offseason.
He is Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 Digital Spurs reporter. Jeff, I appreciate the time this afternoon, and I appreciate the shirt.
Anytime, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, have a great one. That is Jeff Garcia joining me on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, sales, and rentals for San Antonio and beyond. They are online at buyersbarricades.com. We heard what Jeff had to say. What do you have to say? Which route should the Spurs be looking off season? one more year and try and go heavy next year in the 25 draft where the assets become even greater. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. That and Cowboys camp there. The possible QB of the future spoke. That is right. Trey Lance spoke out at Cowboys camp today. He and the new captain of that defense, Eric Kendricks, what they have to say about the future of the Cowboys this offseason. And we'll get you ready for game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Timberwolves and Mavericks. That's all coming up here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com. You're listening and watching Extra Innings with Pleasure.
94.1 FM,
San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now, and it's no fun unless you're playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code Alamo for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code Alamo. Prize Picks fantasy. You're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo, and up to $100 deposit matches coming. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the surfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening, however you may be joining, whether that is via our YouTube at SA Sports Star, where you can like, subscribe, comment along. A lot of people in the comments. Fred Record says, if we sign Chris Paul, he would still start Trey Jones and bring Paul up as a backup with experience. Conley, though, seems like the better fit. Justin Guerrero says, we ain't overpaying. You get to play with Wemby. He's a future champion. Thank you, Alexandra. She's right. Don't forget if you're on the YouTube to give me that thumbs up. And Gilberto Padilla says he doesn't see Young making his teammates better. Miguel Martinez, by the way, our ACL champion this week, said that they should trade the 4th pick and stick and pick at 8 instead. All viable options. Every single one of those could potentially be the Spurs this offseason. And that's what makes this offseason so compelling for Spurs fans. They can and have the ability to go in almost any direction that they so choose. And it's going to be very, very interesting to keep tabs on as we get through the summer and closer towards the draft and free agency, as more and more rumors will start to swirl. The Dallas Cowboys are at OTAs right now. And if you've seen San Antonio Sports Star socials, Joe Reinagle has a post saying, and they talked about it today with John Machota, who inspired this take by Joe Reinagle, that Trey Lance, should, take over the number 2 spot, excising Cooper Rush as the backup quarterback, and then really start to threaten one Dak Prescott for his starting job. There's a lot that would be the best case scenario, if we're being honest, for the Dallas Cowboys, that they somehow stumbled their way for a 4th round pick into a QB of the future and are able to seamlessly move on from Dak Prescott. But even if that's the case, you're still having to pay a quarterback because Trey Lance is also a free agent at the end of the season. So the fact that you haven't gotten any kind of extension or deal done with him, if you believe that much in him, tells you all you should really need to know, especially the fact that they took his number and gave it to Zeke when Zeke's old number was available for him. And that, and him having to go to 19, should tell you what the actual thought of Trey Lance is in the building, more so than the words that come out of their mouth, because much like we have learned, they like to lie to us. They like to lie to us, whether it is all in, or Luke Schoonmaker not being a panic pick in the second round. Their belief in getting these contracts done in order to buy them cap space to be able to use in free agency, which they didn't do. Everything they've said this offseason has been a lie straight through their teeth. And Dak Prescott, followed suit yesterday saying he's not about the money. He played for free. Except he's not. And he'll get paid. And he'll get paid at or near the top of the market. But in terms of Trey Lance, you give up a 4th round pick. He comes in late. He doesn't quite fully pick up the offense. You have him basically inactive all year. Never made the game day roster. And that leads into this offseason. You finally get an offseason. You get your OTAs. You're going to get your training camp. You're going to, as we heard from Mike McCarthy this week, get all of the reps in preseason. And he's excited to be getting all those reps this year.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm very excited. I haven't played snap, obviously, live games since last preseason. So just excited, looking forward to it, and make sure I'm ready to go when that time does come.
And I haven't played snaps in a live game since last preseason, and that last preseason was with the San Francisco 49ers. So, different scheme, different offense. What does that mean for him?
Just a different offense. San Francisco, we weren't really dropping back and passing out of the gun on 1st and 10 too many times. It's just totally different here where we can do that. We have the guys to do it, and obviously the coaches have to do it as well.
Which tells you he enjoys being in the shotgun. He was in the shotgun a lot at college. They tried to make him be under center. You heard him. You're not going to be in shotgun on 1st and 10 a lot of the times in San Francisco. Not the problem in Dallas. So maybe this offense does better suit him as a quarterback in his playing style, because it is a marriage of fit and form when it comes to a quarterback and an offense. It's a very important match, and it's a match that hopefully needs to be made earlier in a quarterback's career. That way they can blossom into who they're supposed to be. Now, because of all this extra work he's getting, because of the offense, because of all of these things coming together this year for him, and having an entire offseason to be able to work and learn the offense better and the nuances of it, it's got him at an all-time new higher confidence.
Yeah, I think it's much, much higher than it was when I got into the NFL for sure. I think I kind of didn't know what to expect. And I think, it's probably most rookies, if not all of them, at one point or another throughout that first year, maybe that first offseason. But I feel great about where I'm at, continue to get better, continue to learn, and just continue to be a better quarterback.
Dak Prescott's going to start this year. The best case scenario for a Cowboys fan is you don't even see Trey Lance touch the field this year. That is the best worst case scenario for them, because if Dak Prescott plays all year, it means the Cowboys are competitive, they are winning games, and they will be a playoff team. And once you punch your ticket, like I talked about in the beginning of the show, there are a lot of failures before teams finally break through. John Elway had a ton of failures before finally breaking through. Dak gives you a chance, punches your ticket into the postseason. If he breaks through, that contract's going to be bigger, but that check will also be easier to write because of it. There is new on the other side of the ball, though, because you lose Dan Quinn. He heads to the Washington Commanders, and he takes a fair amount of players with him from both sides of the ball. Tyler Biadasz and the defensive lineman and Dorrance Arms. He's bringing his guys that know his system, and that is perfectly fine. He brings in a Bobby another linebacker. They bring in a lot of pieces, so you think they're going to be much better very quickly. Remember how quickly this defense turned around under Dan Quinn. Under Mike Zimmer, what's this defense going to look like? Well, they did address at least one hole that they had this offseason in free agency by bringing in Eric Kendricks, a linebacker, a position that was sorely needed. And on top of all of that, he is a guy that has worked with Mike Zimmer, been in his defense, and likely will probably be the captain of that defense in the green dot. And he spoke to Zim's defense and what it's going to be like.
Yeah, kind of. I feel like obviously I have a lot of experience in it. We're doing things a little bit differently. We've added a lot of things, so I'm still learning. I'm still trying to check my ego. I don't know all the answers, but at the same time, I have a lot of experience. I know the weaknesses. I know the strengths of this defense, and I know what it's capable of. So we got a lot of guys on this team who haven't really played in this defense, and but they don't even know yet. But it suits them very well. So I can't wait to see it.
And that they want to change the narrative about this team as it pertains to stopping the run.
Obviously it's in the meeting rooms. It's it's a little bit of techniques, a little bit of a little bit of gusto, but it's a mentality. I feel like everybody knows everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what's being said. Everybody knows coming into the off season what the things that are being talked about, and it's up to us to have that mentality to come in and change what people are the narrative. Change the narrative. Put the opportunity on our shoulders, put the responsibility on our backs, and go and get it done. Be physical, stop the run.
And that's what you want to hear from a leader. It's about us. It's about the guys on the field. And I think at times last year, not enough accountability from the players on the field was being taken into account. And if that can change, the culture of that team can change fundamentally, which I think can take this team to the next level. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. We will get you ready for Mavericks and Timberwolves, Game 2 of the West Finals, coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. You know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace.
If you've put off replacing windows because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door.
Just text BUY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year.
That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month.
Text BUY to 200-300 right now. Text the word BUY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text BUY to 200-300.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Kinetico uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Kinetico San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home. Check them out at KineticoSA.com.
They'll let you try a Kinetico quality water softener for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE, that's 210-656-7873, or visit KineticoSA.com.
KineticoSA.com. Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tomorrow is the day. Baseball Express and Team Express are hosting the event of the season. Stop by 1003 East Nakoma for a chance to pop a balloon and get up to 100% off your purchase, up to $500. Only 250 balloons are available, so come early tomorrow morning. Baseball Express and Team Express have gear for every sport, team uniforms, and top brand apparel. Clearance items up to 60% off. Use code CTE10 for an extra 10% off. Team Express, all sports, all the time. Visit teamexpress.com for more details.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
Coming up an NBA Countdown, to bring you the very latest on Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton and his sore hamstring as the East Finals shift to Indy this weekend. As for our series, is it adjustment time for the Timberwolves or just play harder and better? And how can they prevent Luka and Kyrie from going off again? Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals is next on ESPN Radio.
Bang, bang, bang! Luka Doncic, Karl-Anthony Towns, a flush and one! Irving gets it back, shoots it, contested, three, and hits! Anthony Edwards pulls for three, got it!